Anybody in Facebook land out there? Okay, we got one watcher. I don't know who it is yet, but we will soon find out. It is Sunday evening in South Florida at 5:30. I am going to do... Hey, Derek, how are you? I am going to do tonight... what do you mean, good morning? It's 5:30 on Sunday. Good morning. I'm going to do a pan-seared, then roasted pork tenderloin. I have a little bit of broccoli rabe that I'm going to saute. And also going to do a little bit of roasted potatoes, which are probably going to go in with the actual pork loin once I put it in the oven and cook it off. So, for those of you just joining, right now, this is actually the pork tenderloin, which basically I kind of prepped early. So what I did was, What I did was I actually, hey Louisa, what I did was I actually took the pork tenderloin and I trimmed all the extra fat off of it, and it's actually been marinating. There goes Diesel in the background. It's actually been marinating, well, let me pop this on 1 second. Put the oil in the stove. It's actually been marinating in the refrigerator for about 4.5 hours. So basically, I did a dry rub on it, and what I did was I did salt, the Himalayan salt we talked about the other day, the Himalayan salt, cracked white and black pepper. There's also fresh rosemary and fresh oregano from the garden outside because that's all that's surviving right now. My parsley has died, my basil has died, so basically that's it. So what I've done with all that is, so it's the salt, the pepper, a little bit of garlic salt, fresh rosemary, fresh oregano. Basically, hey Ryan Sullivan, I rubbed it with olive oil, and then I put the dry rub on it. So it's actually been in the refrigerator now for about 4 hours. I also did a lot of other prepping because I know last time there was a lot of in between time. So what I did was I prepped everything that I need to do all this, and there's the broccoli rabe there. What I did with the broccoli rabe is, when you buy it, basically it's going to shrink down to nothing. So I bought 2 bunches of it, because basically that's cooked down to like enough for like 3 people. So what you do is I literally cut off the stem of the broccoli rabe. Hey Sean O'Parka. I cut off the stem of the broccoli rabe. Basically I rinse it off in the colander. Hey, Joey Brenner, I need a haircut, buddy. We got to get this done. The broccoli rabe, what I did was, we're not doing we'll do lasagna this week, maybe later. We'll see. So the broccoli rabe, what I did was I cut the stems off. I actually put it into a colander, and I rinse it off because, you know, fresh skeef, whatever's on there, I don't want to know. So actually, I boil it on the stove for maybe 10 minutes. I add a little bit of salt just to take the bitterness out of it. Then what I do is I strain it again, I put it in the refrigerator. So I did a lot of prep beforehand. Same with the mushrooms. I have cremini mushrooms here. I also have portobello mushrooms. These are going to be mixed in, they're going to be the sauce for the pork tenderloin. So actually right now I can hear this sizzling. So there's the pork tenderloin for those of you who didn't see it earlier. It's been marinating with a dry rub, salt, pepper, fresh oregano, fresh rosemary, a little bit of garlic salt from outside in the garden. So I'm going to pop this. They're going to come with me. We're going to pop this in to the frying pan, because basically what we have to do is we basically have to pan sear this just to get it browned before it goes in the oven. So it's sizzling right now. So basically you're just going to plop it down. You can kind of hear the sizzle. So right now I have this on about, it's on about 4 on the stove, just to get the browning done. Hey Franco, ¿cómo estás? just to get it browned on the stove. And that I usually do about 5 minutes on either side. The oven right now is preheated to about 400 degrees, just to get the oven heated up, because basically when this is done, I'm going to do the potatoes with which I've done in the past. So I'm just going to do it differently this time. It's quicker. So I'm going to actually put the pork tenderloin in the roasting pan with the potatoes. The potatoes are going to be done with olive oil. And then this is my combo. This is all the stuff from the garden outside. So it's the fresh rosemary. There's fresh oregano. I also put salt and pepper in there. Very little bit of salt and pepper. Okay, these are my shallots. Okay, the shallots I'm actually going to do with the portobello and the cremini mushrooms for the sauce for the pork tenderloin. The fresh parsley, and like I said, flat leaf parsley, best invention in the world. Okay, these are my leeks. We had this discussion the other day. Leeks. So I put a little bit of the white and I put a little bit of the green. So these are actually going to go into the broccoli rabe. Okay, I also have some canali beans, which are the white beans, also northern beans. I'm going to do that with the broccoli rabe as well. So for now, this pork tenderloin is actually starting to pan sear a little bit. So let me check on that. Give me 2 seconds. So it's got brown on one side right now. Basically, I do kind of all 4 sides. So I do the front, the bottom, and then I kind of flip it and hold it there with the tongs just to get the sides done as well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop that in the oven with the roasted potatoes. But that's pretty much about it. Who's eating all that food? I don't know, Michael Parker, because I'm like under, hey, Dory Frayne, hey, Stacy. We're under quarantine right now still. Avery's still flying. I know he's headed to Chicago now. So I don't know if he's going to be coming home this week. He was supposed to go to his mom's in Ohio, but I don't think that's going to be happening. So we'll see. If there was smell-o-vision, like Rachel Ray says, if you could smell this right now, it's unbelievable. So let me go turn this real fast again. Hold on 1 second. There's Diesel in the background. Okay. So I'm going to do this for 1 more second, guys. And then I'm going to show you after it's pan-seared kind of what it looks like before I actually put it in the oven. Okay. So you guys saw the before, okay? So this is what you get the browning on it after it goes in the pan. So basically at this point, I'm going to bring over the roasting pan. I mean, you can use whatever you want. Pyrex, whatever you can do, the stainless steel, whatever. My mom does this on the actual stove too. It takes a little bit longer, but you do it for a long time actually on the stove, and you keep adding water, wine, whatever. Hey Caroline, how are you? So in here I have just red potatoes. Like I said, I did a lot of this prep early because I know on Friday I had a lot of shit going on, and it was my first time actually doing this. So I kind of prepped a lot. So basically, just extra virgin olive oil, not a blend, not light, anything. Just with the potatoes, I put some of that on there, okay? And like I said earlier, I had my blend of the fresh rosemary, oregano from the garden, salt, pepper, garlic salt. I'm going to actually plop that in with the roasted potatoes, okay? I'm going to add, I might change it up a little bit. I'm actually going to add some of the, let me add some of the leeks actually to these potatoes too, because I cut more than I actually need. So we're going to throw those in there. What else do I want to throw in there real fast? We've got that, the olive oil. I think that might be good for that. So let's mix all that together, just to get it coated. Because actually the juice from the pork actually is going to work with this too. So you kind of just mix it all together. And like I said before, I've done this where I basically just do a separate pan of this. But I figured, you know what? We're just going to roast it all together. It's all gone into the same place, and it's all going to be eaten at the same house. So you know what? We're going to plop that in there. So at least that part of it we've got going. So we've got all that in there now. Okay, so I have the oven on 400. So I'm going to pop this in the oven. Hey, Barry Freeman. Hey, Jim Beers. I'm going to pop this into the oven, okay? I have it on 400, so that should work for a little bit. Next, what I'm going to do is, because I can start this and then stop like I did last Friday, I'm going to start the olive oil and the butter on the actual stove now for the sauteed broccoli rabe, okay? Just to get that going. So does anybody, how's everybody doing out there in Facebook land with all this crap that's going on? Like I said the other night, I know in South Florida, everything is pretty much closed, and only things that are open are restaurants for to-go and delivery. Drugstores are open, some grocery stores. Adriana, ciao, come stai? I found there's a fresh produce market, which is near our house that I got a lot of this stuff from, because what I'm finding out now is that there's a little bit of, not price gouging, but they're upping prices on things. Like I said the other day, like chicken, like for like 6 pieces of chicken, and was maybe at the most 3 pounds, cost me close to $16. And parsley they had for like $3 a bunch. It was crazy. So, hey Consi Bono, how are you? Hey Jennifer. So basically, I found this produce market near my house. That's where I got the broccoli rabe. That's where I got the portobello, the cremini mushrooms. I had everything else, like I said, the rosemary and the oregano is from the garden out back. So I'm finding this price gouging of these people. It's ridiculous. They're, you know, the Publix is like $3 a pound for like plum tomatoes. This place had them for like 99 cents a pound. So I kind of stocked up because I figured I'm going to be locked in this house for a little while. So like I was saying, if you guys are just catching up, I'm doing a roasted pork tenderloin. Hey Suzanne, how are you? I'm doing a roasted pork tenderloin. So basically earlier, I trimmed all the extra fat that was on the pork tenderloin, which is almost like it's like has a silver kind of casing on the outside of it. And it's already been filleted. Let me check this olive oil. Let me take this olive oil. Just get that going. So what I did with the pork tenderloin was that I basically I did a dry rub with the salt and the pepper. Hey Matthew, I did the pork tenderloin. I did it with the fresh rosemary, the oregano, the salt, the pepper, garlic salt. Like I said, the Himalayan salt, and also the hey Robert, the black and white pepper is the best thing that I found. So I actually put that in the pork tenderloin. So it marinated for about 4 hours in the refrigerator. It's now 5:45 now. So I pan-seared it real fast. Just 5 minutes on each side just to get it browned. It's in the oven now at 400 with some red potatoes, which I did a little bit of olive oil on. I added some fresh leeks to that, okay? And that's all going to mix in with the actual pork tenderloin itself. So now on the stove, I have the sauteed olive oil. And what I'm going to do is, earlier, I did 2 huge bushels of broccoli rabe. And I actually cut it down to where I cut all the stems off. I put it on the stove, boiled it, add a little bit of salt just to take the bitterness out. So now, these are pretty much somewhat cooked. So you're going to come with me, and we're going to throw this in the pan. And go on to step 2. My wine, my mom told me I had too much wine the other night when I was doing this, but you know, here we go. So, okay. So basically here is, you know, olive oil, everything in here. So I'm adding in the broccoli rabe, okay? So I'm going to pump the heat up a little bit on that. I'm going to grab the, oh shit, I forgot. I got to add fresh garlic. I usually use fresh garlic, but I do like this, the minced garlic. It's not like the chopped, it's very, very fine, so it kind of actually melts down like regular garlic would if you peel it. So basically, I'm just going to add like a teaspoon of it, because this stuff is a little overpowering at times. I'm going to mix that in with the broccoli rabe and the olive oil and get that going a little bit. The pork smells beautiful, and that's going to be about, let's put that in there. I'm going to do 15 minutes on that because just I want to check it after that and maybe braise it a little bit. So the broccoli rabe, I got that going. I'm going to add in the leeks, okay? I'm going to add that into the broccoli rabe, okay? Also, I said with the broccoli rabe, I mean, everybody does it different. I mean, I've done it with just garlic. I've done it with red pepper. But this time, I'm going to add the canali beans, which are the white like northern beans. I'm going to put that in there as well. So we're going to let that simmer a little bit. The broccoli rabe, that's on like 4. Okay, because you'll see it's going to literally, it actually ends up melting down to like nothing when you do this. Okay. Excuse me. So in this other pan, I've got that on low now. I'm going to let that go a little bit. Because we're going to start the mushrooms. Like I said, everything I'm doing, I'm going to do and get the majority of it done. So once the pork tenderloin's done, I can just pump the heat on everything else. And it can all be plated at the same time. So, everybody up in PA area, the north, how are things going? Like, is everything shut down, closed? My mother-in-law, so everybody say hi to my mother-in-law. Say hi, Sally Sutton, up in Ohio. Turn your camera so we can see the pan. Oh, okay, I'll show you the broccoli rabe. Hold on. So the broccoli rabe's going, okay? And that's the juice that's left from the pork tenderloin. We're going to use that later once I do the sauce with the mushrooms. Adriana, where are you in Florida? Turn my candles on here. That one, the battery might be going on that one. Oh well, we'll do it in a bit. So here we have the, like I said, and the same with the mushrooms. Don't rinse them off. You basically just want to get like a damp paper towel, and you want to wipe them off because the moisture is basically takes out the nutrients and then makes them like kind of like mushy, and you don't want that. So you just take a damp paper towel and just like brush them off just to get the dirt off of there, because you don't want that in your food either. And like I said earlier with the leeks too, people are afraid to use all the leek. Growing tree. Literally, this is my first glass of wine. I'm fine. With the leeks, I always use the white and the green, just because, like I said, there's nutrients in both of them, but I do like using them both. The white part, obviously, emulsifies easier than doing the green as well. You do a little bit of combination of both. Shallots, like I said, the shallots are going to go in with the mushrooms. And these are basically your form of they're like an onion, basically. But they literally, they liquefy like garlic does. Hold on one second. The shallots will liquefy like garlic does when it's literally, you know, sliced paper thin. I gotta add a little bit more olive oil to the broccoli rabe. At this point too, I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and cracked pepper to the broccoli rabe. Okay. And like I said, guys, remember, best friends, Himalayan salt, and also the white and black cracked pepper. So I need to come over next time and be... yes, you can be film guy, Robert. Yes. My friend Robert and his husband Mike literally live like 10 minutes from us. Hold on one second. So I'm adding some cracked white and black pepper to the broccoli rabe. Just to give it a little bit of a taste. You can add red pepper too, like the, you know, ground red pepper, just to give it a little bit of a bite. Let me just do this. I know I'm like missing you guys on cam. Okay. So mix that up again. And then we're actually going to move you over to the stove, because I want to start these mushrooms. And Robert loves my mushrooms, we know that. Who was on PC Patrol? I don't know, what is PC Patrol, Steven? So that's going. The potatoes and the pork tenderloin are going. We're going to move over here. I'm going to add these shallots now. Hey, Joanne. I'm going to add the shallots, which I said earlier. Add the shallots. You there? Okay. We're going to add the shallots to I had the mushrooms going, so we're going to add the shallots. Okay, here's the broccoli rabe that's going. We had talked about that earlier. And then that's the juices left from the pork tenderloin. And then we're going to start the mushrooms for the sauce. Hey, Jay Carrick. I'm going to add the shallots now to the the mushroom sauce. So we're going to get those going a little bit. Sounds like Uncle Bobby's house. Yes, it does. It sounds like Uncle Bobby's house. So let's get those going a little bit. And of course the broccoli rabe is still sizzling. So I'm not going to do a salad tonight. I know the other night I did the tomato salad, which is kind of a staple in this house. Avery loves it, our friends love it, but tonight I'm like, you know, we got enough vegetables going on. So we have the broccoli rabe, and then we're going to have we have the roasted potatoes. My mother-in-law hates mushrooms, so I can't, when we do stuff, I love her to death, she hates mushrooms. So we make stuff, I do like a regular sauce and then like a mushroom, because everybody likes the mushrooms. She doesn't like them. I love mushrooms. Avery loves mushrooms. I could eat them all day. So that's going there. Let's see what our son is doing, which is Diesel is lounging. Can you say hi, buddy? Can you say hi to everybody? Say hi, everybody on Facebook land. Say I'm being a lazy bum today. Hey, Michael Almeida. Okay, so back over here. Like I said, we had the, oh, and like I said, there's also the fresh parsley, which we did. It's so quiet up here, no one is out. I know my mother-in-law is in Ohio. I don't know if you know, if any of you guys know Avery's mom. She's in Ohio, and it's just as desolate up there as it is in, outside of Philadelphia, where my parents are. I'm adding a little bit of those spices to the shallots. So it's kind of like a little bit of a desert town here too, believe it or not. There's people on the road, but that's pretty much about it. I mean, there's not much else going on. None of my neighbors are really out. I did yard work yesterday because it had to be done. But that's pretty much about it. I mean, no one's really out. No one's like doing much of anything. I talked to my where did you saw my parents at the farmer's market? Oh, good. Okay, you saw them at social distancing. That's great. No, I talked to my mom today. I think she's driving herself crazy because I think my dad's driving her crazy. Because usually you know her, Joanne. She's out and about. She never sits still. She's just like her son. I can never sit still. Yeah, so they sit up there. There's like, not much going on at all. My mom said that now the liquor stores were closed. So Weiss's Market, you can order wine. So, she ordered her wine, but she said that you're only allowed like 2 bottles a transaction or something like that, which is stupid. So she had to do like 3 separate transactions when she bought wine the other day. Down here, all the liquor stores are open. They're not closed as of yet. Hold on one second. But down here, like in Publix, you can buy all your wine in Publix, and same with Winn-Dixie. So other than that, I mean, pretty much everything else is closed. I'm going to actually turn some of this stuff down. But I mean, that's pretty much, that's the basis for everybody down here. Work is still closed. I don't know when we're going to reopen. But like I reiterated the other day, if there is something that you do see online for the store, Encore Interiors, you can purchase still. We would have to send you a what's called a credit card authorization. So it's basically it gets sent to your email, and we send it to you. You can pay for it that way, and then we'll figure out how to either do pickup or delivery once we open. Or if you have purchased something and you do want to pick it up, you can call the store as well, and we can arrange for someone to be there to have your item picked up. We are not doing any consignments right now, and we have halted all of the way our consignor discounts work until we reopen. So right now they're on a freeze. So whatever price they were at the point that we closed, that is the price point that they are at now. But pretty much that's about it. I mean, we're just trying to stay strong and hoping everybody is healthy and happy. I talked to my sister, her and her husband, and Jason said he's doing surgeries right now, but only cancer surgeries, no elective surgeries. My sister's not doing anything. She said limited patients, so she said that they don't need her basically at all because she was just doing part-time at this point, but she said there's not enough patients to fill hospitals and appointments. Down here, I know they canceled my dentist appointment, which was supposed to be tomorrow. But other than that, I mean, life is normal down here. It's me and Diesel hanging out and doing whatever, and Avery flying around the world. And like I said, I think he's heading back to Chicago now. Hey, Kim, how are you? He's headed back to Chicago. So I don't know if he's coming straight home or if they're flying him somewhere else. But I know he's not. I don't know if he's going to be going to Ohio to see his mom. We had talked about that earlier in the week because I don't know if he's going to actually fly there. But at least work will. Atlas will fly him home. But he's only doing cargo. It's not like he's, he's head of cargo, so he's not He's not dealing with the public and passengers and stuff like that. So still makes me a little bit nervous, but he knows what he's doing. He's been doing it for a very long time. So, you know, it's going to be 11 years of my life, so I'm used to all this. So let me check these shallots. You guys can come with me because then we're going to add in broccoli rabe. Is actually, with the broccoli rabe, I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to throw a little bit of butter in there, which I don't normally do, but I don't know. Just for a little extra added flavor. Because even though I blanched this broccoli rabe and added the salt, it still tastes a little bit bitter to me. So literally like a half a tablespoon of butter I'm going to add in there. And then tenderloin is looking good. We're going to check on that in 2 seconds. Just to get that going. Now we're going to throw these mushrooms in. So let's throw these mushrooms in, which are here. And like I said, there's portobello and cremini mushrooms, which I actually got at the farmer's market because everyone else is so damn expensive right now. And I add a little bit more olive oil to the mushrooms. And I actually just did a wet paper towel, and I cleaned off the mushrooms instead of actually getting them wet because that makes them mushy and then it, you know, kills the nutrients as well. So let's get that going. Broccoli rabe, we're actually going to turn down very low right now because as you can see, it's drastically reduced to what it was when I first started the pan. So we're going to turn that down to like low. And then we'll pump that back up. Kyle's thinking Arby's. Really? My friends Kyle and Derek who live down the street from us, pretty much. I'm going to check this pork. So I'm going to let you guys see this too. I'll plop this out just a little bit. Okay. So, you know, I browned the pork tenderloin, okay? And the roasted potatoes are in there, okay? With the fresh rosemary, the oregano, all that jazz, salt, pepper, all that fun stuff. So, what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to cheat a little bit on this too. I'm just going to add a little bit of wine to the pork. Just a little bit of moisture, nothing like crazy major. And you don't have to flip the pork. Some people do, but you don't have to. It's really going to cook on all 4 sides. But for shits and giggles, let's just flip the pork. Okay, and it's still, like I said, it's on 400. I'm going to put that back in the oven. Flip that around. Okay. So we're going to put that back on for another, let's do another 10 minutes on that. Because then it's going to rest too. That's your biggest thing, like with meat. Hey Henry, with meat, with the pork tenderloin or steak or anything like that, you always have to let it rest after you actually, you know, take it out of the oven. So I don't leave it in as long as I should. Hey Maria Wheeler, I let it rest a little bit because it's still going to cook a little bit once it's actually out and chilling out. So we got the mushrooms going here. Okay. We got the broccoli rabe, which I've actually turned it down to like low because I don't want it to get all fried. The mushrooms are starting back here. Because actually what I'm going to do with the mushrooms is I'm actually going to reconstitute them into the sauce that I'm actually going to put on top of the pork. So actually, let's get them turned up a little bit more. And then I saved all of the juice. And I don't know if you guys can hear this. This is all the scrapings that was left from from the pork tenderloin when I pan-seared it before I actually put it into the oven. So that's basically what we're doing tonight. Tonight we're going to do pork tenderloin, which I actually prepped a little bit earlier. I was telling people when they first signed on. The other nights was like a 2-part series of this, first time I'm doing this. So I actually, trimmed everything on the pork tenderloin. I had done it with fresh rosemary, oregano, salt, pepper, garlic, salt. Rosemary and oregano are from the garden outside. So I actually did a dry rub on it, and it was in the refrigerator for about 4.5 hours. So excuse me. So I let that rest out on the counter about a half an hour before I actually pan-seared it. So I pan-seared it on the stove with about maybe 2 tablespoons of olive oil and a little bit of butter, unsalted butter. I pan-seared it so it got brown on both sides, and then I flipped it so it actually got brown on the, on the actual lateral side while you're actually holding it. And then the oven was preheated at 400. So it says anywhere from like 20 to 25 minutes for the pork tenderloin to be in there. So that's in there now with the red roasted potatoes. And it's just, it's the waiting game now. I'm just waiting for these mushrooms to pump up a little bit. Broccoli rabe is done, so I'm actually going to turn that completely off. And then we'll start on the, we'll do the sauce for the pork tenderloin. Because once I said the potatoes and the pork tenderloin are actually in the oven. So combine them instead of doing, hey Paula Pasquale, come stai? I did them so they're all together and I don't have to temperature 2 things. But that's pretty much, I'm going to do this every day, I guess, until we figure out all this coronavirus stuff. And, tomorrow, though, I actually may do, for those of you that, I don't know if any of you are working from home at this point, or just, laid off or not working, whatever. I think I'm going to do a breakfast tomorrow morning. I might do a frittata. I had talked about doing that the other day, actually Saturday morning, but things got crazy and I had to do yard work and laundry and I just got all preoccupied. So basically I might do a breakfast tomorrow morning, frittata, and I'll probably do some fried potatoes. Like I said, if anybody has any requests that they want, may I have a glass of wine? Ivana, you have a restaurant there. You better have wine. I know you got your stash of wine there in that restaurant. My friend Ivan here owns Ariana's restaurant in North Wales. My cousin Maria Wheeler's on here. She knows it very well. My Uncle Steve and... excuse me. My Uncle Steve and my Aunt Mary Lee, they also know it very well. So Ivana's probably got plenty of wine in that restaurant right now. And maybe a little bit of tequila hidden behind that kitchen line from what I can remember. But that's pretty... Girl, let's start YouTube channel, Kyle. And I cannot do a YouTube channel. This is like stressful. I can try it, but, this is comfort to me. This calms my nerves. You guys know, who know me, family and friends. I love cooking. I do it every day. I would do it for 10, 15 people every day if I could. As a child, and my cousin Maria, who's on here right now, can testify, at the apron strings of my grandmother and, her sisters, my Aunt Zena, my Aunt Lena, my mother, everybody. It's, I learned by just watching and, that's pretty much about it. I mean, it was never taught to me. And like my cousin Anthony, same thing, who has the restaurant in Yardley. It comes to you. It's a part of you. And that's just what I do. This makes me happy. That's my biggest, I think, flaw in life, is that I never pursued what I was best at besides, you know, doing design and stuff like that. But this has always been my passion, and you know what? It's until I don't have hands to cook, I'm not going to stop. That's pretty much what it comes down to. But I thought about doing, my mother wants me to, and Maria knows, and I think Ivana knows, and Joanne knows. Mike and Robert have had them. My mother, you know, used to make the stuffed olives, still does, you know, which was my grandmother and my you know, my great aunt's recipes. I may do an episode with that. It's a little more entailed. It's actually the big colossal green olives, and they're actually stuffed with beef, pork, and veal, and a couple other little spices ingredients. They're breaded and they're fried, and it's a big Italian staple in our family. You know, whenever you have a chance to get them, you're so happy. Whenever my mother comes, she actually freezes some and takes them down on the plane with her. And they're a big joy, and they're a big hit at everything. Also, I may try her manicotti. I might try that as well, and see what happens. That's also another highly entailed episode of making the homemade manicotti, because the crepes are not easy to do if you don't have the right tools to do all of that. But the mushrooms are going. Oh yeah, and Grandma Millie's cookies. I know, the biscotti. I know. I thought about doing that too, but that's another thing. I'm not good at baking. I'm just not good at it. You know, if I can follow a recipe to the T, I can possibly do it, but I don't measure stuff when I cook. It's all done with taste and just what I think is going to work best. So this pork tenderloin, okay, that should be almost done. Let's do this, let's finish off this mushroom sauce. So I'm going to add a little bit of fresh parsley to this, to the mushrooms. And don't laugh, guys. Hold on. So, oh my God, this is my cooking wine. Okay, this is 3 liters. This is those big restaurant style. So I'm gonna add some of this to the mushrooms. Okay, so it's almost gonna be like a bordelaise sauce. Why are you ignoring me? I'm not ignoring you, Yvonne, but I'm thinking it's probably Matthew who's yapping his gums. No, not more wine. That's enough wine. So the bordelaise is going to, we're going to get that going because we're going to pour that over the pork tenderloin. So that's what it's doing now. So now those mushrooms have now become like this red wine kind of, you know, sauce with the shallots and the parsley and all that fun stuff. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to that too, and maybe a little bit more of the rosemary and oregano stuff. That the timer's beeping, so get that going. So that'll thicken up that sauce. And usually, you know, you can always add cornstarch or whatever, but I mean, I sometimes add like a little bit of butter, but I actually throw it in some flour first because it actually thickens up the sauce for whatever you're making. The broccoli rabe is good. I might add, let me check this pork tenderloin. Hold on 1 second. So now I'm going to dump these mushrooms actually into the big pan that had the tenderloin in it when I first pan-seared it. To get that going, I'm going to put that on like 6 on the double burner. Pork tenderloin, They tell you, oh, you know, temperature this, temperature that. Potatoes are pretty good. So I'm going to do a little bit of cut into this tenderloin, because I can't find a meat thermometer right now. Let me just think. Let me see. Ooh. No. So that needs a little bit longer. I'm going to say like maybe like another 5-10 minutes. We'll dump a little bit more wine in there. Okay, so that's going. And we've got that back in the oven. And I'll show you guys what that's looking like. So I flipped it again, just so it doesn't get too dry. And you can cover with foil if you want to, but you don't have to. So that's what it's looking like now, okay? And you can also do a béarnaise sauce with this if you want, which is also, it's a real pain in the ass to make. My mom does her own béarnaise sauce, like homemade. It's too much to do. I mean, I'll buy the packets of it, which is still, you know, it's just as good, but nothing's good as homemade, but it can be a pain in the ass. So now I've got these mushrooms going. And you can see now with these, the sauce is getting a little bit thicker. Can you show? Oh, what's on the... Okay, so you want to see what's on the stove? Okay. So the sauteed broccoli rabe is here. Okay. And this is the mushrooms. It's almost going to be like a bordelaise. So it's red wine now that I've added. It's portobello mushrooms, cremini mushrooms, fresh shallots, salt, pepper, fresh rosemary and oregano from the Not a Fan of the Music. Is that Matthew or is that Yvonne? Because much like Matthew's taste in clothes, he has no taste in music either. I have to run, but I'll watch you later. Okay, Maria, give my best, everybody. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. I'll change the music station for you people. I don't know what you want to hear. Toby, I have to run it. I don't know who wants what on music, but I'll pop some Lisa Stansfield in, if anybody knows who that is. We'll see. No, that's not good. I don't know. Trying to find... You guys want Frank Sinatra? I can put that on. We can put on Frank Sinatra if you guys want Frank Sinatra. We'll put on Frank. Just gotta find him on my Pandora, since I had to readjust all that. Hold on. Those mushrooms... No, the mushrooms are not burning. Okay, Matthew. Hold on. I can't find him right now. You know what we're going to have to do? Let's see. Jimmy Roselli. Oh. I'm trying to see what he's on. You know, we're going to do, we'll do some Ella. How's that? So the mushrooms are actually going to turn down now. Turn them completely off. I'm actually going to turn the broccoli rabe back up a little bit, just to get that reconstituted and get that a little bit heated up more. This is more trash bowl stuff. So does anybody have any requests on what You want me to make the rest of the week? Like I said, I'll do whatever you guys want me to do. Yvonne, can you fire Matthew, please? And don't Dan the music, get to cooking. Yeah, Dan. Yeah. Notice we're almost done. I'm gonna I'm turning the broccoli rabe back up just to get it hot again, and olive oil can go away. I'm actually gonna take the pork tenderloin out in a couple minutes because that's almost done. So we got like 4 minutes on that, and that's. I want to. All the negative shit is him. Not. Yvonne, I know what it is to babysit people. Trust me. I babysit people almost every day of my life. So, I know what it is to babysit. So, I have faith in you, girl. And plus, all I know how to do is make pizzas anyway. Kyle Nubby. Lasagna. I can do lasagna. Hey, Sally Castellano. She's watching now. Remember I was talking about Ariana's? Encore Interiors. Sally Castellano is probably our biggest consigner that's in the store right now. So, hello to Sally. And I saw that you made a beautiful quiche the other day. So, that's what gave me kind of like the inspiration to maybe possibly do a breakfast tomorrow. So, if you guys are just catching back up, here's the sauteed broccoli rabe, okay? We have the mushrooms in the red wine with the bordelaise sauce. And we have the pork tenderloin. And the potatoes are actually in the oven. And they're almost done. Broccoli rabe, I'm actually going to taste it real fast. Just to see if I got to add... I got to add a little bit of salt and pepper. And I have to add the cannoli beans. So, and they're also known as white northern beans. For you guys that, you know, don't know the cannoli beans, it's basically, that's what it is. So, and what I do with those is I add them in last because otherwise it gets all mushy and we don't want that. Who's eating all that food? I don't know, but what am I going to do? So I'm going to add the cannoli beans now. But first I'm going to strain them. Because all that liquid that's in there is actually going to make the broccoli rabe mushy. And we don't want that. And if my cousin Maria and Eric are still watching, I still have Grandma Millie's strainer from 150,000 years ago. So the cannoli beans are going into the, and you can hear them sizzle. So I'm adding them in now. And you know, what you can also do too with this, like with leftovers, like sometimes I'll take what's left over and I'll add, you know, like the next day or the day after, I'll like grill up some Italian sausage and I'll put that in there as well, or some grilled chicken. Like it's you know, you can always reconstitute this stuff, and so don't be afraid to always make more than what you actually need, because I do that on a daily basis, especially my friends and family know that. Because when I cook. I don't cook for one person, I cook for 4 or 5. So that's going to get heated up. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to those. Like I said, the Himalayan salt, guys, don't forget that. Looks delish, chicky. Enjoy, I'll check you later. Okay, Suzanne, tell Craig and everybody I said hi. Love you. So a little bit of that. And then a little more of the cracked pepper, which I said the white and the black pepper is the best pepper. And that's the timer for the pork tenderloin. So I'm going to take that out too. because then we're going to let that sit for a couple minutes before we slice that down. So the broccoli rabe's going. So that's going to turn down, turn the timer off. For tenderloin, we're going to take out with the potatoes. And let you guys look at that. That's the pork tenderloin and the potatoes. So I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit, just so it can rest, because it'll cook a little bit more. The broccoli rabe will turn down to low again. I'm gonna cover the pork tenderloin actually. So what has everybody been doing since you've been home and not working, for those of you that aren't working right now? Besides Netflix and drinking. I'm sorry, Matt wouldn't give me back the phone. Love this. Well, like I said, Matthew's a child, Yvonne. He's a 30-some-year-old child. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Okay, I'm going to taste these mushrooms. Very good. Salt and pepper, though. I'm going to hit them with some salt and pepper. Stuck in the restaurant doing what? Well, are you, Yvonne, you're still open for what? For to-go and, are you guys going to deliver now or what? You're just going to do to-goes? Got that going. Okay, any questions? Anybody? Oh yeah, DoorDash is great. Avery and I use DoorDash a lot. And that's great though, because you should probably actually keep them once you guys are reopened again, like full blast, keep them, because they're good and they do bring a lot of business. So and what about the other restaurant and Franco's Place in Doylestown? Is that still going or what? Or they have to close too? I guess they kind of do, except for to-go and delivery. And I guess Ariana's not flying. That has been the best so far. The other two are not. Okay. And I guess Ariana can't fly right now, is what I'm assuming. With American, because of all this going on, I'm sure. Hey, Rayanne. For those of you guys that are just catching up at the end, what we did today was, no, Bocadito was sold. Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, is that good or bad? If they sold it. For those of you catching up, we did a pork tenderloin tonight, which actually I'm having, it's resting right now with roasted potatoes. Fresh rosemary, oregano, salt, pepper, all that fun stuff, garlic. Sauteed broccoli rabe with cannelli beans, olive oil, seasonings. And then I did a, because I'm going to just say a mixed mushroom bordelaise sauce with red wine. So that's almost done too. And tomorrow, like I said, I may do breakfast. And go from there, I guess. I'm just going to do this, I guess, cook every day, maybe breakfast, maybe lunch, maybe all of them, I don't know. It's keeping me busy. So what I'm going to do now is, this pork looks like it's, I'm going to say the pork, like 4 minutes, let it rest a little bit. That's pretty, like I said, if anybody has any requests on what they want, like I said, I'll do the best that I can. Someone requested me doing fish. I can do fish. Just the fish is a very quick process, depending on what kind of fish you want. I mean, I can do salmon, I can do tuna, I can do it on the grill outside, I can do it in the kitchen here. It all depends. I do like salmon. Salmon is one of Avery's favorites, so we kind of do have salmon when he's home from traveling all the time. Otherwise, you know, I love to cook pretty much anything. Only thing I won't cook is liver and onions. Don't ask me, not going to happen. Can't stand it, it's gross, I hate it. But like I said, tonight we're doing the Italian kind of style. We did the broccoli rabe with the beans. I have the bordelaise sauce with the mushrooms, getting ready for the pork tenderloin. And that's pretty much on this end for everybody. But if you have any, you know, requests, just let me know. Like I said, I'll try my best. I thought maybe doing just an appetizer kind of program, if you want to call it. I can make the bruschetta. I can make my crab and artichoke dip. I can do the spanakopita. I can do, like, pretty much what you guys want to see. Or, you know, a friend of mine has this recipe, and it's called white trash chicken. And it's actually really, really good. And I tried to make it once or twice, but I didn't have all the ingredients, so it didn't turn out like it normally does. So I'm going to do some of those little home comfort, like, easy, love you, Yvonne, miss you. Do those easy dinners that, you know, like maybe 2 to 3 ingredients and it's done, and you guys don't have to stress over it. But like I said, for me, I love to cook. I'll cook all day long if I have to. So right now, we're going to move you back to my kitchen island. And I'm going to lower this because I know it's a little loud. And we're going to take out the pork tenderloin. Okay. And we're going to slice that down. And there's my Diesel on the sofa. Diesel, say hi to everybody. Come here, buddy. Come here. You want to say hi to everybody? Fix your ears, silly. Diesel, look at Daddy. Diesel, look at Daddy. Diesel, look at Daddy. Say hi, everybody. Say hi. Yeah, he's not having it. So let's take out this pork tenderloin. And we're going to turn this down and turn this down. The tenderloin over to the counter. Okay. So this is actually the finished product of the pork tenderloin. So you guys can all see it before I actually slice it down. Okay. So, let me get my trusty this, and where's my... Usually your father hides the carving knives, so let me cut that back up. Okay, so, just gonna take this. Look at that, guys. Can you see it? It's perfect. There's still a little bit of pink left. Look at that. What we're going to do is we're going to plate this. And then we're going to eat. So I'm going to do over here, I'm going to do a little bed of the sauteed broccoli rabe and the beans. Take that. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll take the, excuse me, buddy. We're going to take the pork tenderloin. We got the potatoes, so we'll get those. Then we'll get the sauce for the tenderloin. And then we'll eat, kids. Hold on. Almost done. Almost there, guys. Okay, kids. So our finished product, that's hot. So our finished product, okay. So we have our sauteed pork tenderloin on the bed of the sauteed broccoli rabe with the cannelli beans, the roasted potatoes, and then we had the portobello cremini mushrooms with the red wine bordelaise sauce. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I guess I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Like I said, I will maybe do a breakfast tomorrow, but if you guys, you can watch the feed again and see what I made tonight and on Friday night. So if you guys have any questions, any requests, just hit me up on Facebook or text me, and I'll, try and make whatever you guys are requesting. Like I said, the pork tenderloin with the cremini and portobello mushrooms, the red wine bordelaise sauce, I did the sauteed broccoli rabe with the cannelloni beans, and I did the red roasted potatoes with the fresh rosemary, everything like that. Okay, guys? So enjoy. Buon appetito. Ciao, ciao.